Welcome to the Tech Jail podcast channel. Thank you for listening and subscribe through Apple Podcasts to continue listening, Spotify, or whichever service you're on. And thank you for listening.
Today we're going to be speaking about password security and password information. For your questions that might be arising, whether you work for a company or you're just a usual user of technology, you might have been asked before to change your password by companies. So we're going to get into why you should switch it, how often you should switch your passwords, and which services can help you with it today, and what you can do to be a better tech citizen online and be secure. First, we're going to speak about how passwords affect us and what they secure. So, first of all, your password could be for your cell phone, it could be for your bank account, it could be for many different services that you use. But that password is so important because it safeguards everything about you. Because your account on password might let you log in to see your credit card information, your banking information, your email, phone number, social media accounts, and more, simply by logging into those accounts. And you can already see. So think of it as if your password isn't switched or you're giving away your password, think of it as giving someone a key to go into your house that you don't have a clue who it is. You just give them the key, and then they go into your house, they take your stuff, they steal your stuff, but think about that in a tech sense. So if you give someone your password or you just aren't really careful about your passwords, someone finds it out, you're pretty much giving them the key to go into your data and find out everything about you digitally, including pictures, phone numbers, and everything. They could just start contacting you. They could do a lot of harm. They could even post stuff you don't want posted on your accounts, or they could send in false reports, get you banned on programs, and more. And this is why, first of all, that if you wouldn't give someone a key to your house, why would you give them the password to your account? And why wouldn't you secure it? Now think about it. With tech, you also get to see every day there's new hackers, there's new people that are trying to get your data. And a lot of times they're looking for the people that are unsuspecting of and don't change their passwords, or the ones that just leave it on their desktop. And we'll get to the passwords on desktops now. So before we get to how many times how quickly you need to change your password, we're going to get to why you shouldn't leave passwords on your desktop and computers. So when you go on your laptop or desktop, every time you go on there, you might connect to the internet, and we know some people might put their passwords on their computer, on their desktop, and in plain text or another program, and it's just not secure to do that, because it really puts a security threat to you. Because with the security, you're actually going to be worried about seeing what's going to happen to you. when you see it happening, you're probably thinking, well, I can't remember all these passwords because they keep on making me change them. And then you think, well, I'll just write down my computer. Now, let's say those hackers I was talking about before want to go onto your desktop. Well, if they get into your desktop, they could easily just go in and delete, and go in and maybe they'll delete your information, or they'll take your passwords and log into your accounts, because it's not very hard for someone to get into your desktop these days. It's not really at all. Yes, companies are working to try to stop it, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't make a difference. And here's the other story that you're probably thinking about is, in tech, you've also got your email. So if you think about your email password, so if your email was accessed, do you have any personal information on it? Do you think? Think about it. Because anything that's on there, the second someone can view your password, they can see everything that's on that account. They can also see everything about you. Imagine your picture is on your account. They can find your picture, they can track down your account, find out where you've logged in from, and they can easily try to go to your house and try to find you. So this is one of the reasons why we wouldn't write passwords on our desktop, because someone could easily just find out that password and just type it in. If that was a credit card number, they could put a whole bunch of charges on your credit card, or they could put different dangerous elements on your accounts, or send an email to your family saying, well, it's really unsecure. And again, that's why we would secure our accounts. And we're also just thinking about, as I was talking about for our security, we're just thinking about always trying to keep our desktops and our things secure. So that's why you wouldn't put on your desktop. Third of all, how many times a year do you think you should switch your password? Well, it depends. So if you're just a normal user on a site, so let's say you're on WordPress.com and you're not making any websites on it, you just made an account to comment on a site, you could probably switch that every year, every 6 months. But if it's like your credit card company for online banking, for example, you should be switching that every 6 months or sooner. And you probably get messages all the time telling you, well, please update your account to log in. Please update your account to log in. Well, that's the other case. So some scammers try to send you an email to get you to update it when it's really not, when the URL isn't the site. So if you ever want to update your account passwords, it's really easy. You just log into your account and then search for password security, or you type into Google the company you're trying to reset, and then you say change password. It's quite easy. You just try to log in, and then or you can just click the forgot password. You can reset it that way as well. But what you also need to watch out for is just what is security. Like, if you're working for a company, you need to change your password every so often, especially if you work for government agencies. You have very sensitive information, and you've probably been trained before, your IT department saying, well, you need to change your password now, and then when you change it, here's the thing, I know a lot of you might just switch it to your password and then add 1 or add a 2 or add a 3 or add a 5. I know people that do it, a lot of people do it, and to try to fake the systems. Well, the security of them is very important, and I really highly recommend you to really change your password when you need to. And I know it's really difficult, even for me myself it is, until I found Dashlane and TrueKey, and one password, and I'll probably write that in the comments as well, so you can access those sites. So they're password managers. So they will create a randomized password for you. Here's the thing: whenever you pick a password manager, yes, it's on your computer, but it's secure. So you need to pick a good source. So I usually say use LastPass, TrueKey. TrueKey's by Intel. If you know what Intel is, they make your processors for your computer. They make probably, and they make your graphics cards and more. But Intel, you like those password managers, they secure it with your face or your and a password, so they have multiple factors. So yes, they cost a little bit of money, but they pick a random password for you, and then you just log into their site, and then it will automatically let you select that password. It'll let you select that password so you can log in and find out what you want to find out. It's quite easily, actually. With all the security measures that you have, it's so easy to do what you need to do. And what else you would probably want to know is that security really impacts your devices, and it really impacts you. So those companies, the password managers, it also can store your credit card or that. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could, and it would still secure it for you. It's the most secure way you're gonna be able to store it on a computer to remember for further uses. Another suggestion is if you can, on all sites, they will automatically detect if you have the same password on more than one site. So here's the other thing: you're switching your passwords. You also need to know your passwords for each site should be different. So it shouldn't be like 10 of the same password, so you don't forget it. Well, password managers, they make it very, like, they can do any number of characters, special characters, and more to really protect what you want to protect. And you really need to see that it's important. And you'll also see that security is always at the forefront. So those password managers do have a fee, but it will very much improve as well. Improve your security. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. So now we're going to discuss, finally, what you should do besides password managers, what you should do and what you can do to protect yourself as well. You can also work with different people to find out what your best strategy is. And it could be just the password manager function. But you also need to make sure, do not write down passwords on your computer. Don't leave them hanging on your desk. Don't leave them anywhere that someone could be able to just take them. Also, don't write them down on a USB. And finally, don't post any of that information online. You also want to make sure, as I was saying before, don't have the same password for each site. Have different passwords. And especially each banking site cannot be, and credit card and that should not have the same password from any other site you have, and those should not be the same as well. Just to make sure you stay safe and to make sure your data is always protected and ready for you. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about passwords, besides saying that as passwords, they always need to be changed, and it really varies on what you want to use. So the other thing is, you really don't want to change your password that much. Don't do online banking. Don't use credit cards online. So it's really difficult to not do it. So to not have to change passwords. So I recommend you just switch it. And as always, and if you need to, you can always check out and set a comment to the Tech Channel podcast, and you can try to see we can see what we can do to help you out. Okay. And that is all for passwords. What a great thing passwords do for us and keep us secure. Thank you for listening, and make sure to subscribe using Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or whichever service you're using. As well, tune in at any time to find out our new podcast episodes and more. Thank you for listening, and have a great day, night, or even any time of day. We're available 24/7 every day of the week. Thank you.